everybody, welcome back to Mrs. Purdy's online classes. So thank you so much for again joining me for this third episode. You guys are making some amazing art, loved all the chameleons. So this week we are going to be working on a complementary color still life. So we're going to talk about complementary colors and we're going to talk about what a still life is. So we're going to be creating a still life with a mug with maybe you want your favorite drink in there. I chose hot chocolate. So we're going to be talking about what a still life is, and a still life is anything that you can set on a table and draw from just looking at it, right? So you might be a vase with flowers in there. It might be a bowl of fruit. So ours is going to be we've drawn our still life. We're going to start coloring it with complementary colors. Now complementary colors are, when we look at this over here, is a color wheel. So a color wheel shows all of our colors. We have our primary colors, which are our yellow, red, and blue. And those three colors make up every other color on the color wheel, right? And no other colors make up primary. So then you have your secondaries, which are green and orange and purple. And those are obviously made from our primaries. Lots of different color theory that goes on with your color. But today we're going to work on complementary. So the easiest thing for complementary is that to remember that the colors complement each other. They look good together. They kind of bounce off of each other well. So the trick is when you're looking at a color wheel is to find whatever color you want to choose and then pick directly the opposite. So yellow and purple are complementary colors, green and red, blue and orange. My color wheel printed out a little funky, so this is supposed to be yellow-green. It looks exactly like that. So this light green is actually opposite. This should be kind of like a pinkish color, they say red-violet, so kind of a pinkish or red-purple color. So if you look at mine here, so I've chose for my cup, I have blue and green. So my complement to blue is the orange here in the background. This is kind of a yellowy orange and a dark orange, and then the complement to this light pink here, or light green, is the pink down here. So you can look on yours, just think about complementary colors and how you're going to make your mug pop. Alright, so we're going to get to the drawing part. Okay, so for this still life, I actually ended up cutting my page into a perfect square, so it's a 9, mine was a 9 by 12 inch piece of paper, so it's a 9 by 9. I just liked the idea of just having a square piece. And so what we're going to do to start off with our mug is we're going to start with this top part here. So what we're going to have is we're going to have, if you want to do a dot from one side all the way over here, and connect, right? Then we're going to have one for the bottom part of it, and we're going to do a smiley face here. Smile. So then you have this shape here at the top. Now in order for us to show that there's actual liquid in our cup, we're going to have another line that comes in and down from this inside here. So I'm going to start in here, then I'm going to just follow that curve all the way across, right? So that's giving us the idea that there's liquid in our cup. Now we're going to come down on the sides, and so your cup might just be straight. Mine has a little bit of a rounded edge to it, so I'm going to make mine rounded. You can decide how far you want to come down. You want your cup to be pretty big, taking up almost the whole paper, so it's a very large cup. So I'm going to take mine here. You can maybe say you need to come from here down to here again, curve straight. Mine has a slight curve to it. I'm going to do the same thing over here to this side. And then when we come to the bottom here, we don't want it to just be straight across because our cup is round, so we want it to make it look like it has form. So it's going to follow this same kind of curve that's going on here. So we'll give it just a little bit of a curve, right? Now our cup needs a handle. And so I'm going to put mine on this side. You could put it on this side. It's up to you, however you want to do that. So you're going to draw one curve, almost like you're giving it an ear. And then you'll have one that comes around the top. Kind of connects to it there. Now your designs on your cup, you can do anything you want. Now I just gave mine some stripes with some circles on there. You might want to have words on your cup. You might want to have more stripes. You might want to have checkerboard. That's completely up to you. Your cup can be as crazy as you want it to be. But in order for me to do these lines that were like they were going around the cup, they too needed to be curved. So I'm going to follow those curved lines. So I have a curve here. And then maybe I come down a little further. And another one. You could leave it just with stripes. Like I said, you can make some have boxes or a checkerboard. That's up to you. I'm gonna just do my same design I did over here. So I have circle. I even gave some little dots in between. If your drink is hot like mine, we're gonna have some steam coming off of there. We're gonna draw some marshmallows inside our cup. So for my marshmallows, all I did was I drew a little oval and then two little lines that come down and then maybe a little wiggly line like it's floating in the water. I'll do another one, oval, two lines and a wiggly line. Oval. Again, if you want more than 3 marshmallows, you can add more than that. So for my steam, so I maybe have a steam coming from here, maybe a big one. So you can have as much steam as you want, but like I said, you guys will erase the cup from behind. Mine can't really do that. I guess it could be kind of see-through, so I guess it works. So for now, our cup is on a table. So when you're drawing a still life, you want to make sure the table just isn't right here at the bottom of your cup. Because that would be like your cup is pretty much going to fall off the table any second and have a ginormous spill and break. So we want to make sure your cup is, the table line is at least a third of the way up, you know, maybe a little bit higher. It's according to where it is on your table, but you want to be able to see it from behind here. So you want to draw a straight line. You can use a ruler if you'd like. Straight, come in behind. It's kind of straight, a little crooked, that's okay. So now we have our cup on the table, so we just need to draw the shadow over here. So I'm going to give myself an idea of where my shadow, so if my light is coming this direction, then my shadow is going to be on this side. If your light's going this way, then your shadow will be going this direction. So for my shadow, you have to make sure it's underneath here, your cup, and then kind of extends out and then comes up from the top of your cup. So I'm going to come from underneath my cup here. And then I'm going to have another one that's a little bit higher up here, knowing where my shadow is going to be. Okay, so now I pretty much have my entire thing drawn. At this point, you can decide on what type of design you want to go on your background. I've seen some people do X's in their background. I did the stripes. I liked the idea of stripes going this direction and then coloring my flat table this way. You might have designs on your table like that. It's completely up to you. Now what I used on mine were colored pencils, and I used some Sharpie for the darker orange, but mostly all colored pencils. And you can see, I will take you through coloring it too, but I used some value going in, and we talked about the elements of art. So the light to dark with the blue. So if my shadow was over here, I shaded on this side. I shaded on the inside of here because that would be shaded here, and then I shaded on the inside of my handle. So at this point you can keep adding all your details, and then I will show you kind of just adding some of that shading to your cup. All right. So I have my black colored pencil here. Now for this shadow down here, you want to make sure that the darkest point of your coloring is right up underneath here, because that will be where you press the hardest. So I'm going to make sure I press the hardest underneath my cup, all the way under here, nice and dark. That brings it down onto your table. And then as you color it out, you want it to be nice and dark, and then, but it can slowly start to fade as it gets further away. But you can tell this is nice and dark in here, and it slowly gets lighter. So that's kind of what you want to do for your shadow. Smoother, but you get the idea. Darkest underneath, and it will get lighter as you come out. Now once you decide what colors you want for your mug, so you're going to think about those complementary colors. Have a yellow mug and maybe a yellow and a blue mug or something like that. Then your backgrounds are going to be purple and orange, right? So think about your opposites. So whatever you want your cups to be, your background's going to be the opposite of that. So for my cup, I chose 2 different types of blue, a light blue and a dark blue. So I went with my light blue, the whole thing. And once you just get a nice base color all the way across with your lightest color. Now you could do this with just one color. You could just press lighter on one side and then press heavier on the other. I just like to give it a little bit of some layering. So if I do my light blue all the way across, then I can come in with my dark blue and start over here this time, pressing harder on this direction. And then as I get over here, I can just press lighter, harder. I'm just pressing lightly, getting in a little bit of that lighter or the darker blue over that light just a tiny bit. So you slowly just get darker. Now, to make it look like it really had some shadow, I did come back with some black on this side. Now I didn't press really hard. I just lightly added a little bit of black, just so it darkens up that blue, and then I just kind of brought it out a tiny bit. So your darkest would be over here. So you get the idea here. So you're going light to dark across your cup. Now you would do that with all of your colors. If I did that with my green, I chose my lightest green. I colored the whole thing. I chose a darker green to color the same way I did with that blue, and then I chose a little bit. Did a little bit of the black here. So same thing with this back edge. You go this way, you go light to dark, since our shading is coming this way. And then for our handle, you have it all colored in, and then the dark would be in the middle here. I want you guys to have fun creating. Remember to try and use those complementary colors. You can always find a color wheel online if you need help figuring out which ones are opposite. All right, well that's it for today. Thank you. And I do want to show you episode 4. We're going to be working on some bird eyes, owl eyes, with lots of texture with our markers. So look forward to all the artwork. Can't wait to see you guys soon, hopefully. All right, bye.